I have a story about that in the podcast. Stay tuned.
Oh, yeah. This apple, I want this apple, Lexi. This apple, you got a crunch, it's quite now.
You swear, show me the descendant of some Greek god Adonis or some shit. The way he's eating that, like,
Yeah, I'm sure they got those big leaves. They busy fanning him there. Yeah, you can't see it. They busy fanning him. That's why he changed the background so we don't see them fanning him.
Tom, tell me now. This is where we understand your levels. In your yard, do you have the sculpture where you cock naked with your balls out and then you standing there like in Greece?
It's a painting, man. It's a painting.
It's a painting. It's a painting.
We're in a pandemic. The Corona compadres need a podcast, but we need 3 people.
That's a good idea, but we don't have 3 people, Tom.
What kind, fellas?
Sit down, comedy extra.
Yo, what is up, people? Welcome to Sit Down Comedy Extra with me, your host, Muhammad Latif. You guys can call me Mo. And of the fellow host, my co-hosts, give it up for
Wayne Stewart. What's up, peeps? Y'all hundreds, y'all ready for the shit? We're gonna be talking stuff, we're gonna be having a good time, we're gonna be doing our things. Give it up for your other host,
Storm, and this is water.
Wait, is it sparkling or still? Storm?
It's still water. Health first.
Health first. I believe sparkling water tastes like electricity, so let's leave that one out. So Storm, where are you coming from? Whereabouts are you? Where are you based in this world of ours?
That sip of water hits stronger than usual. I am from Cape Town, and this is a wonderful thing about the pandemic. Can create a podcast with 2 people halfway around the country. Wayne for 1 in Secunda, and Mo for 2, because usually when he does comedy, he's doing a number 2 in series.
Yo,
So Mo,
fired.
So Mo, you say you coming from Zeros, bruh?
Yes.
Give me one nice thing to do in Zeros. One fun thing to do in Zeros.
And he's a name charity.
Go fishing, go to the dam, take a walk in the golf course.
Go fishing and drown yourself in Zeres or what?
Don't walk in the golf course, bruh. Golf course are gonna hit you there, bruh. Rather go walk by the dam.
Hooks will hit you. You haven't seen the fishermen in Zeros. You're fishing in extreme sport. In small town. I don't know if it's like the same, but you see, but I assume in bigger cities, like that city,
Like Secunda.
Cape Town, city. You just call Secunda a city. Wow, man, aren't you?
Our city.
Compared to Zeres, it is a city.
Yeah. I can ask
So
you 2 questions. I can ask you 2 questions to prove that Secunda is a city. Does Zeros have a theater?
That's not fair. Next to SpongeBob's Pineapple, if you put it next to Zeros, it's also a city. I mean, come now.
Does Zeros have a theater?
A theater?
Yes.
No, we have a hall, a municipal hall, and a school hall.
Oh.
And a school hall. No, but we
And
got
I'm
a
not
theater at
making
least.
it up.
The theater, I think, last worked about 15 years ago, but we do have a theater where you can actually have
The
drama
zombies
plays.
came to town and no theater works anymore.
The zombies are still in town, right? It's not like they came and left. They still here, bruh.
You know what? I think these zombies are gonna have a field day. Wayne, why don't you tilt your camera up a bit so that the zombies can see your brains? Maybe you'll turn them on. Um,
Come
Because
take a
when they
kak, yeah.
see Mo, they won't be turned on at all.
bro, you know why? You know why? Because zombies are scared of werewolves.
Bruh, werewolves' teeth don't need support, bruh. So don't start with me.
Now you see, guys
are
and girls watching this is what happens when we do a podcast with a younger generation. He does shit like that.
I'm a 2000, as he likes to call himself. Hey guys, I'm a 2000.
Look, guys, I know I look like I could have raised both Wayne and Storm, but in fact, they are both
Very
like,
poorly.
Yeah, you do. Uncle Mo, I'm gonna start calling you Uncle Mo, Wixie.
yeah. Imagine that would be flip switch. That would be like, pah. You just escom me.
I escommed you. I think we can
Okay, so enough with Zere's Brighter Star stealing the spotlight. What's the best thing about Secunda?
the best thing about Secunda. That's a very good question, Storm. However, there's not much nice about Secunda. So for me, the best thing to do in Secunda would probably be prying or having a poiki, chilling with your bras. That's the best thing to do in Secunda. It don't get better than that.
Same
You
thing
know?
with Zere.
I got it.
Same thing
I
with
got
Zere.
it.
Yeah. Only the difference is because of like Zere's next to Secunda is more town. In Secunda they use blitz, but in Zere's we rub matches together. Not even sticks matches because sticks.
Because you guys just found fire last week, right?
Bruh, you can't say we found fire last week and you from a city storm. Because without your beak, you're getting no fire started, my brother. Then we'll see who finds fire.
So are you insinuating that Xerox makes all the big lighters in the country?
No, I'm insinuating that in Xerox, you can make a fire without a big lighter. Because we're primitive like that. We hit two rocks together, spark it, fry it. You take some cow dung, and this is actually a true story. I'm not making this up. Cow
Let's
dung
hear
is
it.
actually, cow dung has a lot of methane in it. So if you take cow dung that's not wet, you just wait for it to get a bit dry. You put that, it will work as a catalyst to start your fire. Real shit.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
dropping
try it.
knowledge. When you said primitive, I was just thinking Mo going, me, Mo, you, woman, make baby, now.
No. No. With a chicken wing in his head. While he might to the
Not a
toilet.
chicken.
After grilling
While
it
he
on the
might to the
fire.
room.
With a shank. Not even a winger, an entire shank.
I shank.
Bruh. After I finish it and get done, me, you having sex, I'll go and kill stranger with bone.
Yeah, when they sexting the girl, has it ruin on the cave.
So,
Here's my mood.
Storm, I understand you're not from a small town, right? What don't you like about the city?
What don't I like about city is the people, and that's it.
So you don't like anybody in Cape Town?
The whole of Cape Town. Like
You must at least two people you
Yeah,
like
if
in
they
Cape
social distance, I'm fine with it. Everyone.
Town.
Oh, so just the white people. Okay, no,
Nope.
stop.
You know, while we're on that, growing up, I never thought I had the thing for blondes. And being 30 years old right now, it didn't change.
So you still don't like blondes?
When
Oh,
he
no.
was born, he liked blondes. Like the first time when that Afrikaans nurse delivered him, he just looked and he was like,
No, you see, the thing is, I wasn't born here in Secunda, bruh. I grew up in Secunda. I wasn't born here. I grew up, how old was I when we moved to Secunda? I was like 7 years old. So, like, everything else I experienced in life was here in Secunda. But the birthing of Wayne was experienced in Joburg. What don't you like about Zero Smoke?
lack of opportunity, lack of people, lack of women.
Yes. That is a very fair statement.
He didn't say women. He didn't say lack of women. He said lack of woman.
Woman, yeah, no, you know, you like.
So it's a sausage fest in Zeres.
Woman.
Yeah, bro, it's like
Even-
Secunda.
Yeah, there's too many Owens here because you see the cherries get married. You see, in a small town, you always find pearls.
To other women.
And then the divers from bigger small towns or cities come and they just, you know, like spear fishing.
You know,
Yeah, like-
you speak about diving, right? You speak about diving. I remember a story. I was doing comedy on the coast of Cape Town. Fishhook, I think it was. And there was this couple in the audience, like 10 years ago, that, the comedian that was on stage asked him what they did. And the guy said, I'm a professional deep sea diver. And I was looking at the girlfriend and her face looked like you haven't done any diving for years.
I just figured that shit out before you even punchline it.
He's a-
No,
He's a heavy.
He's a heavier.
Heavy. Heavy.
But you know what? In Zeres, we also have a fish hook. You can buy it from the tackle store. Apparently
Yeah.
in Cape Town region.
It's not a place you can actually go fish. Yeah, you buy the fish hook and then you buy to the dam.
Yeah, to the
You buy
dam.
the fish and then you call it fishing.
Yeah.
The most exciting part of my childhood in Zeres was going to Wimpy with friends. With friends.
Woof.
Yeah,
I
with
hope you are wearing your jean pants.
at Wimpy.
Were
With
you
my
wearing your
friends.
jean pants when you went?
And I was the light, I was wearing PT Brooks. You know, PT Brooks.
Those short ones, they say. If you don't sit like I can see your nutsack.
Yeah. Yo. But you know, that was the best. The one thing I liked about PT Brooks, you could you could always hide a lighter because it had like a secret pocket inside.
On the inside, right?
Yeah. Hey, you have to
No.
live off it. You know that shit.
No, I must agree with you, Mo. I do think that that's the problem with the small town, right? Is the lack of opportunity, number one. Because even if you can create opportunity, small towns generally have big fish in small towns. So you get that family or that person that has created their wealth. So those are the known people in town. Those are the people that, for a choice of better words, run the show. So to try and create an opportunity with working with people like that, they forget the hustle, bruh. They forgot the hustle. They've made it. They forgot where they come from. So now, when you try to do your thing, they're like, no. This is not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Especially if it's not in the line of doing things. I've noticed that.
Yeah. And also, you need to understand not anything like to be in a small town. Sure, in some manners, like everything, it's your perspective. Sometimes your creativity can run wild, but at the same time, it boxes you up because something that would be $1 million idea in Joburg can't happen in Zeres. You make a loss. Like,
Yes.
you know, like I can't sell vegan modes. We can't open a Kauai in Zeres.
No,
Let's
it's
get-
not gonna work. They want their brandy and coke. They want their steaks. They want their chops. Their pap. Their gravy. They want it
Exactly.
nutty.
The main thing about small towns and Storm, just to put you in perspective, because Wayne will understand this, it's the really mundane thing. It's the very mundane things that really are like a huge difference. For example, like if I want to go to the hospital and like shit's real, I won't have to drive 209 kilometers to get to Joburg to go to a hospital.
No,
You know what I'm
Did you go to the hospital just because you shit your pants?
You needed them to scrape it off.
Yeah. Shit like that, bro. It's mundane shit
In
like
that
that. and
PT
stuff
pants at the Wimpy.
like- We're friends.
Woof. Yeah, I'm with my
Yeah.
friends, yeah.
Precisely.
No,
But as I was
yeah.
sorry, where you were saying?
No, I think that. So here's my thing. Like small towns, I don't take anything away from a small town. like I was saying earlier, a small town is actually a very convenient place to grow up in. Extremely convenient. I mean, if I forget my phone at home, I can come home, pick it up, and go to work and still be on time because it's a small place.
Yeah.
But like in a city, I do think that there are some drawbacks. However, cities are obviously full of opportunities.
Yeah, bruh. And I think it gives people from small towns like an upper hand if they can transition to city life. Because city life is a transition. I'm aware. I haven't done it, but I'm aware. And what apparent is the guys from the towns that go to the city and transition always make it. And I believe the reason for that is if you're in Joburg, which is like I was explaining, like, you know, some people in other cities consider their cities like towns, like the Durban example where it was referred to as a small town. So to these people, Joburg and Cape Town are cities. So the people that actually come from their laziness is in Joburg. So like our laziness is like, okay, in my zeros I can't do it, but if I'm in Joburg, I can color it all. And their excuse while being Joburg is I'm not doing it because it can't happen.
Yeah, I do think that people that come from smaller towns, cities, towns, are a lot more. Let me not say a lot more, but I do think that they're driven in different ways. They see possibility where there's nothing because we've been deprived of possibility and opportunity. We see something like, yeah, I can do this thing. I can make something out of this, you know?
Yeah, no, most definitely.
Tom, are you still awake?
Oh yeah, I'm still here.
Bruh,
still here.
I thought
water
you
A
really
little passed out by the water, but I'm still here.
Yeah.
the water's strong there in Cape Town.
The water is very strong in Cape Town.
Yeah, because I've
Probably
never had
poison.
water for a while. That's why.
Yeah.
Now the water came back more strong.
Yeah, it's been a very long time, you know. We
Sure.
just drink Coke and Sprite.
I'm sure your water, the reason it made you feel this way is because it was poisoned by a certain individual from Cape Town whose name rhymes with thriller. But anyway, let's get
Yeah, let's not get into that. That's a story for another day.
Why do you have a problem with Mac Miller?
I don't know, man. It's not my idea of like, you know, I haven't thriller. But yeah, let's get it.
Tom, I want to ask you this. Growing up in a city, do you have like close brothers, like brothers that you
Yeah, I used to. I had quite a few actually, and then, you know, life takes over. And then different lives, different paths, and then we all go our separate ways. That's basically more part of life more than anything else. Being at a big city or small city, it can happen anywhere.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, because I find that like there's in Secunda, because it's a small place, obviously everybody kind of knows everybody in one way or another. If you don't know the person directly, you know someone that knows the person, you know?
Yeah.
So I find that like in a small city, what I do appreciate, not city, town, what I appreciate about a small town is the connections you build with people.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know your ride or die homies, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But also in the sense of business and stuff. So like with the shops and stuff, you're gonna get favors by these shops. Like you're not gonna wait as long as everybody else because you know this, bruh. You know each other.
Exactly.
Yeah, because you're the shop owner in Xeris.
Yeah, that too. No, but like Wayne says, it helps. So like because of that, people are more helpful. Because we're all more aware of our, you know, your neighbors and, you know, that sort of thing. We know each other. Now, in a small town, there's a lot of gossip as well. And because it's a small town, it seems like the gossip is even more. Because everybody hears it. So you know someone's gossip. You hear the fire. And because of that, you'll find kindness and bullshit from the situation. Kindness in the fact if Wayne is retrenched and he's hungry and he's starving there, somebody's gonna scunner about it. and then you're gonna just find a plate of food.
Why are you making people on YouTube sad right now?
I'm not. I'm pointing out a good aspect of a
No, it's
small
the
town
reality.
because
Yeah,
people like if you're going through shit, it's like nobody even asks you. Like, are you going through shit? Like the food will come. You know, whatever you need, it will come. Don't get me wrong, nobody carries you in life. But when you're in a situation, you need a helping hand. In a small town, the helping hand reaches out before you have to, and that's generally our problem.
Yeah.
To begin.
Yeah.
I'll tell you a story. One day I went to one of our special places. So, Chance, if ever you come to Secunda, you'll have to taste Uncle Park's, right? Uncle Park's fish and chips is the best. So because I know the family personally, one day I was crying and I forgot my wallet at home. But I always keep changing my car. So I went to the pali, I was like, hey, Uncle, check here, man. I'm a scroll, I smart to have a child, but I don't have money. This is all I got. Being a shop owner, obviously, likes change. You know what I mean? So he's like, no, bring the change. Except we counted a change, kids. I think it was like 180 bucks. I got a chow, I got a packet of rice, I got a cold drink, and then after that, still bought a 6 packets with the money that I had. And I think like in a city, you're not gonna get that. I mean, if you go into a shop and you're like, hey guys, this is all I have, they're not gonna take the time out to sit with you and count the money and give you what you want. They're gonna be like, hey, brother, go make another plan, come back when you got cash. You know what I mean?
Okay, so just to translate things for people, in Ireland and Germany, wherever.
Yeah,
you said
the
guys. What does guy mean?
Cigarettes. They what? The lady with a golden ring.
Cigarettes.
Yeah, you can't say the actual term, not on this shit.
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
you can't say fags.
No. We might get into trouble.
But wait. Let's get back to what you were saying, man. In terms of that day, I wanna ask you, do you find this happening in Secunda as well? Because for me, only in Zeros this happens, bruh. You can go anywhere, bruh. Like to the garage, wherever the hell you're going. If you like 2 rand short or 5 rand short, bruh, the cashiers there will slant it for you. Like you don't like they'll sort you out. Is it the same there?
Yes, it is the same, but it goes back to what we were saying. Because it's a tight-knit community, people know each other. So even like car guards, bruh, perfect example. Car guards. I can go to the mall or I can go to the shops, whatever. I see the car guard, I'll tune him straight. Hey, bruh, check here. When I come again, I'll give you something, but today I got nothing. And he'll tune. I know it's 100, bruh. Do your thing. Next time you come, you can give me something. It's fine. So there is that. Yes, there is. I would say there's a good sense of camaraderie in a small city, small town.
And that's a different perspective in a big city, shall we put it. The majority of the population over here look down on the car guards, shall we say.
Yes.
So like, they are doing them a favor just by giving them some change because they watch the car. And in certain respects, people look down on car guards, whereas it sounds like with you guys, they just welcome as part of the community.
Bro, they're part of your daily life, bro. It's part of your reality. Because like in Joburg, I would say in cities, this car guard, you're never gonna see him again, like ever, probably. And now you notice, bro, you're gonna check him again.
Someone said comedians or philosophers once,
Yeah.
I think
And that's
Rock that said that.
it was
I
Chris
think
Rock.
so.
It was Chris Rock. And aren't we the philosophers of small towns and cities? Just educating the youth.
Could be. It's up to everybody watching and listening to decide.
I am a youth philosopher, educating the youth. What a compliment, Wayne. Thank you. I'm so chuffed.
Listen to us. The elder statesman leave it to everybody to decide. The young rookie goes, I'm a philosopher now.
Bro, you make me feel like you make me feel like I'm an emperor and you guys are my 2 viziers, because emperors are always young and then the viziers are 2 old people telling their
In this story, you
elder
are the Luke
statesmen.
Skywalker that we slap around the head.
Yes, Mo, you know Emperor Mo. You come from zeros. Emperors come from cities, bruh. You know Emperor. Slow your roll. Pump your brakes.
Bro, I'm the emperor of my rock, right? But it's
The
a
only
pebble, but
difference
don't-
between Xeris and Atlantis, more people know about Atlantis.
I think the same could be said for Secunda. I think the same could be said for Secunda. Although Secunda has a mall, like an actual mall, like that's city status. It's borderline city.
Except Mo, let's not hype this thing up, bruh. I think we got a mall like a year ago, bruh. The mall came yesterday, bruh. It's only 2 floors. You check.
Oh,
Ground floor and first floor.
Let's just transition a bit. Hashtag Caitlyn Jenner. Last week, Mo had a podcast
Right, Joe.
with
A shitty one too.
Poseidon Note, right? Now you, somebody in Xeris, how did you find the transition like? Basically your path, your history, your story. You just had an idea one day, okay, I'm gonna do something with this Instagram. And a few months later, you had your first podcast that you hosted. And not the first solo podcast that you did. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
Yeah.
How did you work on bringing yourself from where you started to
Well,
where you are now?
So I don't think if I can be a clear representation for the whole of small towns. However, what I can say is
Fuck them, seriously.
being no, even for zeros, no, because I know I'm special, I'm no norm. But I thought I was going to spot. That would have been amazing. If like his camera was just covered in that liquor, that would be just picture perfect. I'll time it better next time. But I think it comes down to what I was also going to mention in terms of, so myself and Wayne, we want to get out of these towns because we're extroverted people with ambitions that a city is required for. I think we could even pinpoint that city down to like Joburg probably. Even Cape Town wouldn't be worth it, like just Joburg for what we're involved in, for our hustle. However, if you are an introverted individual and you're not very good at socializing, like a small town would be much better, bro. I'll give an example, okay? I'm gonna use, say you're a Muslim dude, okay? And now you're in the city. You go to the mosque. Nobody knows you exist. You in Xeris, you're Muslim, you go to the
Whoa, what?
mosque. Now the whole mosque can see, hey, this brah, I don't know him. Where's he from? Are you new in town? And then people would come up to you and, start interacting. You become a part of the community. And that creates a level of small town mentality. So you out of your comfort zone as soon as you reach out of that. And I just reached out of that.
Same thing with a little twist for Wayne. Wayne actually, of the little research that I did before the podcast, which is absolutely nothing, Wayne actually made the trek from Secunda to Cape Town for a gig, a comedy gig. Is that right?
Yeah. When Stewart performed at Kong, shout out to Super Mario and Laughter and Lockdown, he made a surprise appearance. So he's seen the city lights of Cape Town. Yeah, definitely. But just bring it back to what when Stewart himself did the same thing. He reached out of that comfort zone, of that comfort zone that small town mentality creates. Because it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard the saying, what is this saying? Have you heard this saying, poverty isn't a circumstance, but a mindset? And small town mentality is the
Just
same.
heard it now.
Okay, wow. Now who's the philosopher? Yeah, but just getting back on that, because of that, when you're in this small town, you're in this environment, you sort of close your doors before you even try to open them. You're locking them before you even test the handle. And what that happens is you start just avoiding that lock. You don't want to see this locked door, so you stop trying to open the handle. And I think it's true with both me and Wayne Stewart. We just got out of that small town mentality and we tried opening the handle, and after a few more tries, the door opened. We were persistent about it. And it's just about getting out of your comfort zone, man.
Okay.
So sorry fellas, I missed out what you were talking about. Nature has its way of calling you to go and pee, etc.
To the fridge.
Yeah, to the fridge, to the piss pot.
Pour you another glass of whiskey.
Yeah. No, bruh. Yeah, it's all right here. I don't have time to be up and down. It's right here.
Okay.
Nature.
Nature, right. Okay, so we'll bring you back up to speed. I asked about your start from Secunda to Cape Town, and quite eloquently, Mo said it nicely for you of how that happened. As he was explaining, you reached out of your comfort zone, and that resulted in you doing a gig appearance at Kong in Cape Town.
Yes.
And I don't know how much people know about geography in South Africa. Secunda and Cape Town are neighbors.
Nope.
They are neighbors or they aren't neighbors?
They aren't neighbors.
Oh.
For the rest of you, the poor geography, they are in the same country though. It happens to be South Africa. Pointing it out there.
Look, I grabbed a bit where Mo said, we got rid of the small town mentality. So, if I can elaborate on it, even though I don't know exactly what you spoke of, here's my thing. I always knew that the small town life is not for me. I always knew it.
Yeah.
But I didn't know how I'm going to get it. Look, I've always loved comedy. I've never ever thought myself to be a comedian. Why do I say this? I say this because I'm in a small town. So the idea of being a comedian in a small town is 0 to none. Yeah,
bruh.
But then when you start opening... Sorry?
There's no opportunity. It's not even your fault. It's not like there's no doors inviting you. There's no stages.
Yes. It's not a thing of laziness or you don't want to do it. It's more a thing of, where do I get the opportunity to do this? But then when you start opening up your mind to these things and you start looking further, you realize it's actually not that difficult. It's quite straightforward. It's just a matter of being in the right place. That's what it boils down to.
Also, lack of information. When it's like you're in construction, right? So it's like starting a new business and building a warehouse at the same time. So you starting a new endeavor. You're trying this comedy thing out. You don't even know it. You're starting it. You're starting to learn it. But now you have to build a warehouse already. Now that's the barrier, because there's nothing for you. You have to create it. I don't know. With Secunda, it's still a bit different, but I'm sure it's a similar narrative, and that's very hard when you have that lack of information. And once everything starts falling in place, as long as the drive's there, everything will be smooth sailing. You just have to get to that point, that turning point.
Yeah. Look, I do think... Sorry, you were saying, Storm?
No, go ahead.
I do think that growing up in a small town, your idea of life and your knowledge is totally different to someone from a city. You find the people in the cities are more like vibey, more aware of what's going on, more in tune with, what's hip and happening, the current trends. Whereas in a small town, the trend is simple. The trend is, and this is an example, leave school, study something, get a job, get married, have kids, carry on with life. Whereas in a city, because you are exposed to so much more, the idea of life as a whole is different. You know,
Yeah.
you're more focused on maybe buying a property, or you're more focused on growing and excelling in your career. Like where in my instance, like you find people have been in the same job for, let's just say they qualified as a welder, for argument's sake. They've been in the same job with the same company for like 15 years. Whereas if you find a welding job, he's probably worked for like 10 different companies in a space of, you know what I mean, 15 years or whatever the case is. So it's not that, I wouldn't say that people from a small town are like narrow-minded. I do think that they have their drawbacks, but I think people from small towns, their focus is different because they work with the opportunities that they have.
Yeah, the analogy I gave to Storm was that, I don't know if you've heard the saying, Storm didn't, so he thinks I'm the philosopher that created it, but I'm sure I heard it somewhere. That poverty isn't a circumstance, it's a mindset. And
of course,
and in that light, just as I explained to Storm, when you come to this community, because of the sense of community, you come into this bubble, and then because these avenues aren't open to you, there's a roadblock always. Instead of trying to now driving there, seeing, is the stop and go open? Is the road open? No, the ones don't drive there. They already say no, it's closed. And you have to transcend that. Once you start driving there, one day it's gonna open and you're gonna get through.
No, definitely. Mo, do me a favor, please, before, sorry, Storm, just lift the camera a little bit.
There we go. Let us see the 10 head. Why are you hiding? What's the new shot?
There's a Kunda 10 head. So, Storm, sorry, you were saying before we got a bit technical with camera views and angles?
I'm going to decide whether I'll keep that in the podcast. Let's focus on mentality.
Okay.
As you mentioned, avenues can be closed. Avenues, sometimes they don't exist. I know for one that I've had many mental shifts over the last year, and this is mostly as a result of other humans. As I said before, I don't like them very much. Now, I've been said no to many times before by Charles Manson, Caitlyn Jenner. How did you guys deal with that?
Oh, what a callback. What a callback.
So you, if I understand you correctly, you're asking how have we dealt with our circumstances?
Yeah, setbacks in terms of, let's put it in simple understanding, not necessarily to pigeonhole ourselves, just to put perspective on it. Get to a point where you want to do comedy on a certain stage, but continuously, not in so many words, not by just saying directly no from the organizer or host or whatever, just working around obstacles between you and your objective.
Mo, do you want to go first?
There's a lot to it though, so I'll go first. So for me, in light of getting to the stage, sure, there's a lot that goes into that. And I don't know if I can speak for all comics, because all of our journeys are unique, and I'm aware that I've been quite lucky in that regard, because since the show took off, everything sort of took off. The gigs started all I had to do was ask. The thing is, I'm not afraid to ask, and I don't need a very long psychological answer. I just don't give a fuck, bruh. If you tell me no, away, let's fly. And if you tell me let's dollar, I'll appreciate it forever. And when the setback has happened, I just, bruh, we can't live in the setback. Okay, it happened. I'm upset. We're humans, bruh. I'm frustrated. I might swear your mother on the inside, but like, tomorrow's another day, next week's another day. We'll try again.
Look, for me, it's been a thing of, how do I put this in a nice way? So Secunda is the type of place that, regardless of who you are, regardless of what you're trying to achieve, everybody around you believes in you, including the people that have the places or the platforms or the means where you can start something. So everybody believes in you, but not everybody is necessarily prepared to give you the opportunity. So for me, the idea of getting out of it or breaking the shackles or changing the thought process came from, like what Mo says, I realized in the comedy industry, in the comedy world, you tell anybody, hey bro, I'm a comedian, especially another comedian, they're gonna fucking hook you up. Hey, check here, bro, my bro got a show, or I can hook you up with so and so, you can jump on the stage, there's a spot available for you. So for me, it's been an idea of pushing. I'm a very pushy person. If I want something, I'm
pushy.
Pushy, yes. What did you think I said? No, so for me,
you thought you said what Mike Tyson would have said if he tried saying pushy. Pussy. Pussy person.
Yeah, so for me, it's been a thing of, I know what I'm capable of, but I don't necessarily have the opportunity. So I'm gonna create the opportunity, if I can put it that way. Like you were saying earlier, poverty is a mindset. It's not a circumstance. It's a mindset. Because you can find someone that has everything it takes to become whatever they want to be, but because their mind is so weak and so run down, they don't see a way out of their circumstances. You know.
Yeah, perfect. And I think that could help. That could help with many people suffering setbacks. It doesn't matter in which way we suffer setbacks. Not everybody can reach into 3Ms and then say, yeah, oh, fuck you. Moving on. Mo.
Yeah. No, but you see, the thing is, what I was also going to mention, we need to stop we need to stop fucking thinking of ourselves as so special. It's not personal, bruh. Stop taking shit personally. And even if it is, fuck it, still don't take it personally. And you'll see what will happen in the initial stage. You'll realize that the reason this is because A and B don't know each other. So now, if A just let his ego slip for a second and doesn't take this personally and carry on persisting with B until A gets an opportunity, then when A does get that opportunity, if A can do the business, now B has respect for A. And A and B can now become collaborators, great friends, you know? The possibility is endless, but the problem is A always cuts it off with B because B was a push to me. And we shouldn't do that, man.
Sometimes doing the business, it goes to A's head and A becomes an asshole.
Yes, you do get that. You do get people that achieve something and then they become overconfident or they become cocky about it. It's like, you check, all I needed was this, now I'm that. And I don't think that's the right mindset. I think we need to be conscious of where we are. My thing is, I try to be as humble as possible, even though I know for a fact I'm a great comedian, I'm a great life coach, I'm a great MC, whatever the case is. The most important thing for me is to remain humble, because the moment my head gets bigger than my capabilities, that's where I'm gonna fuck out. That's just how I look at it.
No, and again, I think the point of all of this is, you know what? Fuck A, B, and C, whether they're assholes or not, just focus on me.
Yeah, what's the number?
An asshole. Even if he was an asshole to me, that's just him. He's an asshole. Why the fuck am I occupying my cognitive ability with an asshole that's not mine? Like,
yes,
it makes no sense to me. I understand how we fall into this trap And of course, we're all human. We all fall into it. Like, I've collaborated with people that in the start, like before that, like emergence of Mo, so to speak, I was like, yo, this is a cunt of cunts. And sometimes we get offended by things that aren't us, we take the wrong way. And I think to drop our pride, at least for me, like there were times where I was thinking, I'm gonna tell him to fuck off, and I didn't, and then something came out of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I find that there's like a subconscious copybook, whereas when people, for example, and say no, it's not as simple as saying no in 2021, 2020, in the pandemic. As you said, people are from the country of cunts. There are people that do this phenomenon that's called blue tick. And it comes from WhatsApp, because that usually is the blue tick. But what the blue tick means is, for those fortunate enough not to know what it is, you send a message, and thanks to the technology, one can see whether the message has been read or not. And most of the time, in my experience, I've seen messages being read and then left as it is. To cut the long story short, that affects the future. Now, it doesn't matter how great this person can be, how many eyes he or she can bring to the product. If this person texted no or blue ticked me, that's it. Fuck you. You're not getting onto the podcast again.
Yeah, the thing is, you must treat it like acid and double.
So that's a manifestation of ego, thanks to their bullshit ego. Now I have the same problem they have. Instead of collaborating, because one could say, okay, you rejected me once, okay, I'm gonna go again, I'm gonna give you one more chance. You rejected me again. If you go back a third time, you're just being...
No, then you're a pooper. You can't go back a third time.
Being narrow, yeah.
Yeah.
You dumb.
So it's a tricky dynamic. It's a balance as to all things.
Bro, I feel you, because what you see on sit down comedy, you see all the guests that said no, but you don't see all the O's who ignored. Bruh, you know how cock it is to send a message to an individual that you know you've met in person, calls you their friend, and then you send them a message and they double blue ticket, bruh, and don't reply.
Let me ask you guys this. You make it in life, right? You become whatever you're trying to do. Let's say a comedian or an actor or a doctor or an engineer, whatever the case is. So you are now where you are, where you're hustling. You're trying to get to a certain point. Do you, when you make it, are you going to be the person that answers the messages or the phone calls or whatever you're faced with? I'm asking this for perspective.
For as long as I can, and if I can't, I'll try my best to make that possible. Because we need to understand also, at some point, people are just busy, you know?
Yes.
Especially when comedy really transitions into their work. Now, when you Trevor, when you Skulk, when you Tumi Morake, and you these guys, that are like actually post-stardom. You know, this is their job, they're busy, they're hustling, they're involved in this, they're shooting a movie here, shooting a movie there. You can't judge it harshly. I actually respect the people that have the courtesy to tell me no. So like, if you, like, there's a couple of comics that I've reached out to and they were like, no, I'm sorry, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. It's not for me.
It's weird that's actually one of the best things that sometimes it's thought of, to me at least, similar as to be saying yes. Instead of leaving the line open, just close the line.
Yes.
Whether it's a yes or a no.
Yes.
It's like courtesy. I always thank them. Like when they say no, even if they say no like a puss, even if they say like a puss, thanks for having the courtesy of replying.
Yes.
And then sometimes you can unpussify people by doing that, at least with you. So like after that, like the poops out of them. Helping humanity here, guys, ladies and gentlemen.
No,
You were
because
exercising the vagina after the guy.
No, because I do feel that even if you don't want to work with me, or even if you don't want to help me, and this is not just like on a comedy in the perspective of comedy, or like I say, being a doctor, whatever. Even a cherry, bruh. You smoke a cherry, you're interested in a cherry. You spoke, maybe you met her wherever. You send a message the next day. She fucking gave you a number, bruh. And then you like send her a text, or you try to call her, and she ignores you. Fucking hell. Tell me straight. Hey, listen. Last night was fun, but I don't want to talk to you. Or I don't want anything else to do with you. Shut. I'm not going to be a cunt about it. I'm going to be like, oh wait, thank you for your honesty. Thank you for actually responding and tell me how you feel. Shut. Because like what Storm was saying, I agree 100%. What you leaving a fucking open line for? What does it help? It helps you fuck.
And in the text, even if the cherry is in the business person or comedian, he, she, whatever they are, even if they reply to you and are being a sour puss about it, add some sugar. I mean, get them sweet. You know what I'm saying?
A spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down.
Exactly. Like I say, man, it's a mental game, because every time you're gonna get that no or that ignore. What I did, sometimes I still check with this bastard shit. I'm not gonna ask you again. And if I really want you, like fuck you, 4 months. This is your detention, motherfucker. You're not getting any of Mo's love for the next 4 months. But at the same time, the person doesn't see it, which is often the case when you're like reaching out to people, you know, beyond your level. You can't really take that because they just didn't see it.
Oh yeah, definitely. It's different perspectives. Like, you can't exactly, well, it's best not to expect a reply from somebody that has 250,000 followers. Their notifications, their DMs are blazing all day.
Yeah,
and you think they're gonna find yours over the other 255 messages.
I have to interject. Having said that, though, you can't have that mentality, though, because that one will stop you from messaging these people. Like, bruh, you have to shoot your shot. So, I think the mentality to go with is just literally 3 words. 4 words. Don't give a fuck. Don't give a fuck. Just don't give a fuck. It's not about having no extension. Just don't, bruh. Don't think of it. Bro, like, I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay, I think there's a miscommunication here. I mean, I'm not saying don't message Kim Kardashian, Kanye West, Jeffree Star. That's intentional, by the way. What I mean is, don't message people and expect a reply. If you get the reply, great.
Away.
Away.
Also be aware that if you get the reply, these people, the following, they're not representing themselves anymore. They have agents, they have representatives. So it's not always going to be easy. But anyway, as I digress, it's all about balance.
Of course. However, I totally 100% agree with you. But the thing is, sometimes when you get stuck in that mentality, you think of it as a means of productiveness. It's like, I'm wasting my time messaging this person. And that's a problem. Because you see, all of these people are not untouchable. They're only untouchable because in our mind, we make them untouchable due to the pedestal that they're on. And I have a perfect example. I know you guys are going to think I'm blowing my own.
Wait, sorry. Due to the what that they're on?
Patrick, say that again.
The pedestal.
Pedestal. However you pronounce.
Except you must buy it to the school in Zeros time. You have to carry your school fee money back, bro. The pedestal.
I didn't teach you English. I don't know what they teach you.
They taught them English over there.
I don't know what they taught you.
I I told my teacher to give me half of my school fees back for the 4 years of high school because when I matriculated, I was in my matric year, I was absent for 52 days. And after that,
I think start like, hey teacher, what kind?
Mhm.
It's in your number.
Durban. So 100. But I left school and these teachers took it upon themselves to work out the total absenteeism of Muhammad Latif over his 4 years in high school. And brah, apparently, this is not a stat that I've said, this is what I hear from the people and the teachers. And they vouch that it's true. I was absent for exactly 2 years out of the 4 years. When I heard that shit, I was like, ma'am, I want my school fees back. I mean, I wasn't here for half
Yeah,
the lesson.
you all taught me nothing. I was teaching myself things in the street.
Bruh. Legit.
It's chaos doing zero, Stasi. You know what, James? Here's my theory. Not my theory, but here's my thinking. I think that for as long as you are trying something, for as long as you are putting yourself out there, regardless of how you do it, be it on social media, be it in person, be it whatever, for as long as you're putting yourself out there, you're going to get to the point where you want to be. I think a lot of people, and this is something I'm noticing now. I might be wrong, but this is something I'm noticing now. And I'm not taking anything away from anyone doing it. But what I noticed is a lot of people are trying to reach out to bigger names than themselves to try and boost whatever it is they're trying to do. There's nothing wrong with it. But I think that if you're doing like what we're doing now, this is a podcast, this is the three of us. No one really knows us. We're going to get to Germany. We're going to get to America. We're going to get to England, Russia, wherever. We're going to get there. But I think what we're doing now, like this, is way more important than trying to get someone on board that has already made it. Because you become that shadow, for a choice of better words. Oh yeah, Wayne spoke to Eric Clapton. Wayne is the no, I'll never be seen that way. Eric Clapton would just boost my views, but he's not gonna boost who I am or my talent or any of that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
I think the famous bro. Tonight you were with Eric Clapton. Tomorrow you win again. That's just over.
Exactly. So I feel that as human beings, we need to push what it is we're trying to achieve more than trying to get certain individuals involved in what we do, because that just takes away the value of it, really.
Yeah, it's all about what you're trying to achieve as well. So for example, I totally agree with you, man. Especially as comics, you have to find your crew that you grow with. You know, you started around the same time, you grow with consistently. But as I said, you need to see what cards you have. So now, if I started if this was the podcast, right, and none of us did anything, you didn't do Sunday sessions, I didn't come with sit down comedy. Firstly, we wouldn't have met. But aside from that, we'd be doing this for no one, because there'd be no one to watch it. So
exactly.
You need to also think of it as a business, man. Like, okay, it's all fun, games, and expression, but we have to be calculated about it. At the same, like you are with the business, you know, you work in an environment that you're comfortable with, but you have to set that comfort to your scenario. And to trying to get a big name isn't gonna work, bruh. Like, that would be amazing if you just get one Goliath on your show and now you think you're the new Goliath. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that.
Like I said, there's nothing wrong with getting the support. There's nothing wrong with having the conversations, gaining the knowledge, gaining the support. Yes, but I don't think being fixated on that is the right way to go. I think I think that what like I'm saying, what we're doing right now, this is the perfect way to grow, because people are going to get a taste of Mo. People are gonna get a taste of Wayne. People are gonna get a taste of Storm. People are gonna appreciate us for who we are and what we're doing, as opposed to people appreciating who we are. Do you get what I'm saying? Because like
Storm is gonna get a taste of water, and Wayne's gonna get a taste of iron, bro. We're gonna call it.
It's a Kunda Iron Brew.
Don't come use name brands here. Iron Brew aren't sponsoring us. We're not giving them publicity.
That's the spirit, Storm. That's the spirit.
Iron Brew sponsored my childhood because, like, as a kid, Iron Brew, like the closest thing to halal beer, and that's a funny dynamic.
I'm not mad at you, Mo. I'm disappointed.
What did I compare Iron Brew to beer, or did I call it halal?
That you began your tangent on Iron Brew at all.
To be fair, Iron Brew is a very underrated drink. It's never been respected, but has remained throughout.
It is. My bank account is underrated too.
Does it remain though?
Yeah, it remains at 0.
No, you see, Iron Brew, they got like a 1-star rating that it has been there forever. So that 1 star has made a lot of money in a short amount of time over a long period.
So basically, they're the worst criminal on GTA 5 ever. They have 1 star.
Basically. And you know, when you have 1 star, your chances of coming out on the plus is better than when you have 5 stars. That's more heat. You can get.
The way your brain works.
Another quote for you. This is actually from a series, but they say the fire that bakes bread and the fire that burns bread is the same fire.
Okay, what Ramas? This sounds interesting. What Ramas? You know nature. Storm looks pissed off. What happened, Storm?
Yeah, he went to get some more Iron Brew.
No, the Iron Brew was full, bro.
Nature. But Storm, before you pissed him off by going to nature, Storm was pissed off that I started off a sentence with Iron Brew. And we were just going through a discourse of how and why Iron Brew is underrated and disrespected, and why it's a bomb of a thing. Because it's been that 1-star thing that has remained throughout. It's that bullshit thing that we never respected, but it's still here. What Wayne found interesting in regards to the fire that bakes bread is the same fire that burns. The only difference is the dough, not the fire. Can this dough withstand the heat? If it is just like a sword, a blade, the hotter the forge, the better the blade. But too hot, you're gonna burn the blade brittle.
Yeah. Look, I don't know what you were talking about when I wasn't here. But I'll tell you this. Yeah?
No, things like yes, carry on.
No,
the Discord was about me being disappointed
that we use the IB word.
Yes.
Yeah.
I won't say the full name. I don't want Storm to be more pissed off. The IB. No, you know, like it might sound arrogant, but it's something I believe in. I firmly believe in my capability of doing things. That is why I've had this conversation with you, Mo, and I want to get Storm up to speed. I believe that what it is I'm trying to do, what it is I'm trying to achieve, I can achieve it. I don't need people's gratification. I don't need people's opinions. I don't need people's ideas. I don't need it. I appreciate the input, but at the end of the day, I'm still gonna do what Wayne needs to do to get to where Wayne needs to be.
That's not the only way to succeed, but it is the best way. You don't need validation. You don't need
That's
the
the word.
opinion of anybody else to praise what you do. As long as you set a goal and you scored the goal, Caitlyn Jenner, you're gonna be happy.
No, it's like when I started Sunday sessions. So Sunday sessions, I decided that I'm gonna swear. I decided I'm gonna talk how I talk. And my mother actually said to me, Wayne, don't you think you should calm down on the swearing? And I told my mother politely and I told her nicely that, look, Ma, this is who I am as a person. This is what I do. My mother saying that, I took it too hard. Everybody else that came after my mother, yeah, but why is he swearing? Yeah, why is it this? It's like, hey, fuck you guys. This is who I am. You're not going to meet Wayne in person and Wayne's going to be talking that sweet talk all the time. They're going to be dirty words coming out of this mouth. You're probably going to find me having a drink. So why must I sugarcoat who I am just to be accepted? Do you get what I mean?
Yeah. And so, Wayne is lucky. He has that self-confidence and self-assurance. He knows his ability. Now, with me on the other hand, I look at it as I'm 19 and don't tell me I can't do shit, because I'm not saying I can do it. I don't know if I can. But I haven't found my limits yet. And I'm going to keep on pushing till I do.
You know what, Mo, like I wanna say this, and I might be wrong, but I do think that this is the point. Like I say, I might be wrong, but I do think that this is the point. A lot of people look at Mo and they think Mo's 19. What has Mo experienced? What does Mo know about life? And I think that's where the stones come from. That's why people throw stones. It's like, 19. What the
Exactly.
fuck? And it's, you know what I mean? It's not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of their doubt. It's a reflection of their lack of whatever it is. There's a big difference between knowing what you can do and actually doing it. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people will say, yeah, but hey, just he's 19, he thinks he's funny, he thinks he's this, he thinks he's that. No, you know you're funny. You know you can do it. So why must you now worry about what person X, Y, or Z is saying? Do you know?
It doesn't matter what you do. If you're happy with doing something, keep doing it. And not to say if you love the footsteps of Charles Manson, do what he did. We're not talking about that. Not that. Everything else that's legal. If you are happy with doing it, do it.
That's it.
Because the only person you have to satisfy is yourself.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the only enemy in your life is yourself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Storm. I couldn't have put it better myself.
I just want to add to what Wayne said, and he might come out of cocky because he made the mistake of getting me chuffed. But lo and behold, the wisdom of Mo. Keep on throwing stones. I'm just going to build a quarry.
No, you know.
Okay, calm down, Bob the Builder.
No, you know, I've realized, you know what, Mo, like I'm sure I've said this to you. When I look at you, I see 19-year-old Wayne in different aspects. Not exactly, but in different aspects. And I'll never forget my whole life. People would always tell me, you too overconfident, you too cocky, you too this, you too that. Where's it gotten you? Success.
Yeah.
You have to believe in yourself, bro. And when I say believe in yourself, I don't mean in an ignorant way. Yeah. You're not gonna be walking around like, hey, me, I'm that old. Let's use Conor McGregor as an example. Conor McGregor, that man's got fucking confidence like there's no tomorrow. But when he loses a fight, what does he do? Hey, the fighter was better than me. He was more prepared than me. He was more ready than me. Whatever the case is. If you can admit to that, you're good to go.
Yeah.
But if you fail and you still want to be cocky, you're going to lose.
Wayne, the problem there, just like with Conor, he has to fall before he can be humble. That's a mistake, bruh. Be humble while be a Khabib, bruh. Talk your bullshit, but be on top undefeated and keep your head low. Because
be a Khabib. Fight a bear when you're 5 years old.
Bro, I need to add this shit because it's fucking hilarious. So like my nephew is like 2 years old. and he's a really smart kid. And every time he does something, and he's being like a baby because he is. His dad will look at him. He says, "When Khabib was your age, he was wrestling bears, bruh." And this lighty just storms off. And I was like, "Fuck! Imagine if I was a lighty and Khabib was wrestling bears. He just fucked up a lot of lighty's childhood. Like that's the comparison. Khabib was wrestling bears. You think you're tough? Khabib was wrestling bears."
No, you know what the thing, I'd like to add to what you said because I agree with it. You know, what you said of McGregor, like he's got to fail before he can actually stand up and say, right, I failed. One thing I believe in life is if you can eat the meat and throw the bones away from every person you meet, it makes you stronger in one way or another. So, like McGregor's confidence, I could use his confidence, I could have his confidence, but I would do it differently because, you know what I mean? Because of what you just said, it doesn't help you. You're only humble when you lose. You gotta be humble. Something I've learned. You gotta be humble as you go through life.
Yeah, especially when you win, right? That's the most important time to be humble because that's when you get carried away. You don't get carried away when you lose, bro. There's fuck all to be proud of. When you're losing, there's jack to be bad about. Oh, I'm really shit. I'm the shittest. Okay, cool story, bro. But just to I just want to say something because I think you find it interesting, and I think the viewers would too. Wayne said, Mo, you remind me of when I was young, and I've come to find out that is probably the best compliment anybody can give you. Then you know this person likes you. Because many people have told me this way, especially during the course of my trajectory. And I've realized it has nothing to do with whether they actually see something of themselves in you. Is that there's a trait within you that they find likable and they want you to succeed. And then they look at it themselves and you like yourselves. And whether you've succeeded or not, in your own right, you have your own success. And that statement sort of says, you know what, I want you to have my success. I want you to have my winnings. That's why I think it's the best compliment anybody can give you. You know it's not bullshit. Because people can wish you success and fucking be lying to you. Hey, I hope you get big. Okay, why? So that you can hold on my ankles. All right, okay, no, I'm going to get big. Cool. But when somebody says what you said, there's no presumptions here. There's no, this guy, even if the dude's being an asshole, if he says you remind me of when I was a kid, he likes you.
Yeah, no, that's.
Lads, do you realize that we've been doing philosophy for the last hour?
Last 19 years,
I've been doing more philosophy than I ever did at school. And I did like 12 years of it.
I'm of the opinion that education kills philosophy. As fucked up as it sounds, it's true. Rather, education systems fuck up philosophy.
Education.
And not as if swearing so much is enough. We do know now that since education fucks up philosophy, this podcast is not marked for kids.
Unless you are fucking smart, ambitious, young individual, then come through.
I wanna wait, Chips. Before we continue. Mo was actually like a school teacher. Before
Muhammad.
Before we continue with whatever we were talking about, I wanna ask you, Storm. Did you learn something in lockdown? Has lockdown taught you something different about yourself, or taught you new skills?
What has lockdown didn't change a damn thing about me. I've had lockdown before lockdown began. I chilled in my room before lockdown. I still chilled in my room after lockdown. But that's a good point that you brought up. Yeah, I've learned so much skills. I've learned so many things, new perspectives, new ways to think, new ways to that. I've also encountered many I've also encountered many battles which is equally important, because failure builds character.
Yes.
And one has to fail to get success somewhere. And not saying that I've gotten success. I've done this for about a year, this podcast deal. And at the same time, it's subjective. Success is subjective. I can say I was successful in getting a podcast with Mo, for example, which in that case I've been successful 3 times over. And when this lockdown thing started, I believe, I still do, that the coronavirus, as bad as it is, it can be one of 2 things. It can either be a curse or a catalyst.
Yeah.
It's up to us to choose which it is.
Most deaf.
And I'm sitting here with 2 guys that have done the latter. It has been the catalyst for you guys to get to the life you guys are living now.
It's, like that's the thing. A lot of because of my geographics, because of where I'm situated, becoming the comedian or becoming the person I wanted to become, it wasn't impossible, but it's difficult, because the closest and the best place to talk and the best place to be on stage is Johannesburg, which is about 150 k's away from me. The beauty of lockdown was it literally brought it here, where we are right now, to my house.
Yeah.
And if you find people
right
like,
to Mo's bathroom.
Yeah. Like you find people. I've during lockdown, the first lockdown, that time, people would like send me messages or contact me, phone me. Hey, Wayne, can you help me with $50 or can you help me with $100 or whatever the case is? The fact that you're sending me a message on Facebook tells me you got data to fucking contact me. Do you know what I mean? So what is your excuse? I'm not being a cunt. I'm just trying to understand it. It's like, what is your excuse? The fact that you can contact me or phone me tells me that you've got some sort of airtime, some sort of data, some sort of something. And I'm not saying that this idea that we're in right now, like this means of communication is for everybody. But the fact that you have it, why aren't you using it proactive as opposed to negative?
You know what these people are going to tell you, when these people are going to say, no, man. How can you say that, when even for us Owens who are having it tough, we also need to enjoy the same mundane things that you do as social media and ice cream and this. But to me, it's all about your priorities. What do you want, bruh? You want to sit on Facebook and see what Tom, Dick, Harry, and Mo Latif are doing? Do you want to keep up with the Joneses? Do you want to keep up with the Joneses? Is that what you about, or do you want to do something? Because everything comes with sacrifice. Like, and also the social media leaves a cloud of mystery in terms of circumstance. Bro, this comedy thing has made my life easier in terms of doing comedy. But if you think of my life, it's made it much more complicated. I'm working much harder than I ever worked. I have things to do, like at 9 o'clock every week. Right now, what we're doing, it's much easier to do fuck all. You're gonna have to sacrifice screwing about with your own. You're gonna have to sacrifice favoring and getting drunk on a Saturday night. You know what I'm saying? That shit is gonna
You're gonna have to sacrifice drinking water.
Yeah. That's special Cape Town water.
Yeah. You're gonna sacrifice that overprotective girlfriend of yours who's just like, yo, clingy as fuck, because now you're not gonna message her for another hour. You're not gonna reply immediately.
Okay, guys, girls, listening to this, we're not saying give up a virgin sacrifice to the gods. Please.
Yeah,
that's not what we're saying.
Yeah.
Sacrifice time, not Bianca on the 4th
Not morals.
10-story flat.
But if you happen to do the latter, you can DM me. Show me.
No, I do think that perspective is everything. Perspective for me must be it's everything, because let me say this. Let me put it like this. You find that there are those individuals that look at their circumstances and then they think to themselves, this is the end. This is as good as it gets. I'm not going to achieve anything more than this. But I do think that you can achieve something provided you put in the time. Like what you say now, is that the only thing you're sacrificing is time. You're not sacrificing money because the dot is already there. The platform and the means is already there. The only thing you're sacrificing is time.
Yeah, but when you sacrifice the time, when you sacrifice the other bullshit that you were doing with that time. So if you were lying in bed and lounging, you're not doing that anymore. If you were going out and getting drunk, you're not doing that anymore.
Exactly.
If you were out there and being a gigolo, you're not doing that anymore.
Yes.
And
Looking at your story arc over the last year, I can safely say that has turned from a sacrifice to an investment.
Yes.
You guys use time and invest it into who you are right now.
Yes.
So it's a long-term game, and it's not for everybody.
Of course.
yeah.
You know what?
And much more than the Mo that was lounging around. I can tell you that much. With all the sacrifice that it comes with, it's sweet enough.
For me, when we hit the first lockdown, I went into this lockdown miserable. I was pissed off because work, you work, you give your sweat, your blood, your tears, your time, everything. Work tells you, hey, look, you gotta go sit at home, you're not gonna be getting paid. So for the first 3-4 days, I was a miserable person. I was like, fuck, I give my time, I give my effort, I do everything for this place, and this is how they treat me. So as time goes on, you actually realize, okay, wait, let me take a back seat. Let me think about this. I was always complaining, hey, comedies in Joburg, I gotta drive 150 Ks, I gotta pay toll, it's petrol, it's wear and tear on my cab. Then it brought comedy to my couch, where I'm sitting right here.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do about it? What am I gonna do about it? Am I gonna continue moping and crying about the situation? Or am I gonna grab a bull by the horns and have fun and bring success?
Yeah, what just occurred to me, and what is the best thing about this podcast now? We've been going on for like 3 days, and none of this is dated. So people can come back to the podcast at any time and just listen to us speak pearls of wisdom, I guess.
No, of course.
And Mo saying whatever shit he says. But for now.
But that's funny too.
So Mo, we need to speak before we end the podcast, before we conclude the podcast, about this little story I had. I was doing the editing for the first podcast with Kalk, right? And I did the editing, everything done, and then I played it back. And there were certain moments, like I know where I'm going to put the edits, so I know where to skip and listen. And I was listening to you because I was using reverb on your introduction to Kalk.
Have I incriminated myself?
No,
Don't expose me again.
No. We won't speak about that one. I was using reverb, right? And it came to a point later in the podcast where I heard Skulk speak. And there was an echo to it. So I was thinking to myself, did I mess up? Did I leave reverb for the whole podcast? And so I thought again, no. Maybe Skulk, knowing he had a podcast to do with you, bought a house, put nothing in it, and started doing a podcast with you. Because his voice traveled around the house.
I'm glad that you think of me of the shit to that level, but I'm not yet at least. Soon, don't let me say that. Stop. That was a fun tangent. That was one tangent I could actually explain. My math teacher can suck my ass. I got that tangent right here, bro. Yeah.
So I want to ask you guys, like, what do you think? Because this is our podcast. This is what we're doing. What do you guys think is the main value of a podcast? And I want to start with you, Stone. I'd like to hear your input. What do you think is the main value of a podcast?
The connection.
Between us or between the viewers?
Between everybody.
Oh,
That experience it.
Look,
The
I don't know
experience
what
of the connection, man.
I don't know what
That's me to you, you to Mo, Mo to me to Caitlyn Jenner. With the
What does
audience.
Caitlyn Jenner owe you, Xtra?
Bro.
We both talk
Listen,
about it.
With all of your talk of connection, I just want to say from right now that if any of you do try to connect with me in any way, you too, I will shave my beard, and it will be a felony.
You get locked up.
I think a brilliant note to end this on I got a quote to end this on. A wise man by the name of Samuel L. Beckett once said, "Ever tried, ever failed, try again, fail again, fail better, try better."
Oh,
And that
yeah.
was- but you
Okay,
get me.
then, Wayne, do you have a philosophy to end on?
This is one of my favorite quotes, and it actually comes from Donald Trump. I don't care about Donald Trump. I don't like what he's done, but I love the specific quote. The quote is very simple, but it's fucking got power in it. And it says, well, you're going to be thinking anyway, so you might as well think big.
Yeah,
I think
he
you-
was a wise man for about 2 seconds of his 52-year life.
50,000 years.
Whatever.
That man at least 80.
However
I
old
think
he is.
it's better than Dwayne. I think what Donald was talking about was breast enlargement, but anyway.
Okay, then. I guess I'll end it with this one. I'm gonna take it from Vikings. Good
Oh,
old
yeah.
Ragnar Lothbrok. He once said, "Don't look back. You're not going there."
Shaile boy. Shaile Dwana.
And that's where we end this, folks. See you soon. Or hear us soon.
Yeah.
We're in a pandemic. The Corona compadres need a podcast, but we need 3 people.
That's a good idea. But we don't have 3 people, Stone.
What kind, fellas?
Sit down, comedy extra.